Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to another video. And I took another week off. I went to California for Christmas. I hope everyone had a very Merry Christmas. You're able to spend it with your family, whatever you guys were able to do. I hope you guys enjoyed your time. But we are back with some more power rankings for week 18, the last week of the regular season. We have one more week for the regular season, which is just absolutely crazy to me. I can't believe how fast the season has just flown by, but it's been a lot of fun. I am excited for the end of the season because we'll be able to do some playoff videos, rank the playoff teams, make some predictions, and then also look back on the regular season, see who the best players were at each position. I really like making those videos, so a lot of those to come after the season ends and before the wild card round, and maybe during, because those videos do take a little bit of time, but it's really not too bad. But anyways, let's hop into these power rankings before our last week. And coming in at number one, we're gonna have the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I did make a power rankings for last week, even though I didn't make a video, but then I'm an idiot. I forgot to save that list before I cleared it, so I don't have like a comparison of where they moved. But the Eagles, I think, stay at number one. I don't think I ever moved them. They lost to the Commanders since the last time I made a video, but it was a Kenny Pickett-led Eagles team, which now looking back and looking at the Cowboys game, maybe wasn't such a bad thing. But this Eagles team is just so complete. Even when they have a second-string quarterback, third-string quarterback, they look so complete. They look so good. And they just beat a Cowboys team by 35, 34 points. The same Cowboys team that beat the Buccaneers a week before. So very impressive game by the Eagles. And this team is going to be hard to beat, unlike their team last year. And coming in at number two, we have a team that in most power rankings right now, I'm pretty sure is back at number one, but I do not have them back at number one yet. Call me a D1 Chiefs hater if you want. I don't really care. It was a little concerning. I was going, probably the only time I've ever rooted for the Chiefs in my entire life, in the Patrick Mahomes era, was their game against the Steelers. And it was kind of concerning on how good they looked. I was hoping that they would kind of just beat them by like 3 points, barely get a win out, but they kind of dominated them, and it was a little concerning. Patrick Mahomes looked very good in that game, and right before the playoffs, that is not a good thing for the rest of the NFL. And then coming in at number three, we have the Detroit Lions, who I'm still putting in the Super Bowl appearance tier. This team has been playing very well. Their offense is still very good, even with the losses that they had. David Montgomery, Aiden Hutchinson. This defense obviously is going to be concerning. In fact, I actually think I am going to drop them down. I think realistically, if we're going based off of how good these teams are, unfortunately, we might hit another Chiefs rematch in the Super Bowl with the Chiefs and the Eagles, which I think everyone would just give up on life if that happened. But I just don't think that this Lions defense is sturdy enough to make a lot of moves in the postseason. They're just getting shredded, and their offense is going to have to keep up in the playoffs for 3 or 4 straight games in order to win a Super Bowl. I think defense wins championships. I think that's a very, very correct phrase in the NFL, and I don't think the Detroit Lions could do much with the defense they have right now. And then coming in at number four, now this is going to be absolutely nuts. You guys are going to probably unsubscribe. You guys are probably going to kill me. Listen. This team has been playing very good this season when they are 100% healthy. They are not only playing very well on offense, but they're also winning games with their defense, which is something we did not expect at the beginning of the season. They look very complete, and I'm putting this team at 4. I don't care. They are 10-6, and that's going to be the LA Rams, who I'm putting there. I could easily see this team being one of those teams you do not want to play in the playoffs. I think a rematch between them and the Lions would be very entertaining, especially because I think it's a little bit different now than it was at the beginning of the season and in the postseason last year. I think the Rams are a good football team. I think they are a complete football team. Matthew Stafford has that playoff experience. Sean McVay is a very good head coach. I like the team. All right. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of that. I'm sure I will get some interesting comments here. Coming in at number 5, we have the Minnesota Vikings, who I'm also going to put in this tier. The Vikings are hot right now. They are rolling. And it's going to be a really, really fun game next week. On my birthday, January 5th, Vikings and Lions Sunday Night Football is going to be a movie for the first seed in the NFC North and the first seed in the NFC in general, which the Lions could desperately use. That's less games that they need their offense to put up 40 points. And then coming in at number 6, we have the Baltimore Ravens, who look pretty locked in right now. Obviously, that game on Christmas, completely locked in. They were locked in against the Steelers, and very, very good. I'm glad we're seeing this before the postseason, and I hope they keep it up. I hope they just keep the same script going into the postseason, because I really do think that we have a chance to make it to the Super Bowl. But just to be safe, I'm putting them in this tier, not to be biased or anything. And then coming in at number 7, we're going to have a lot of teams in this tier. We have the Buffalo Bills, who the Ravens blew out earlier in the season. And I might be way too low on the Bills. I'm sure the Bills are a top 3 team in most power rankings. But I want to see more in the postseason, and I want to see I don't know. I think that their 3-point victory against the New England Patriots, who might be the worst team in the NFL right now, was a little concerning. They did blow out the Jets, which was good. I just think that all of these teams in this tier are so close together right now that I think that it's really hard to rank them. And I'm basically going off of who beat who this season. Now, yes, the Bills did beat the Lions. That was also when the Lions had nobody on defense. The Lions still have nobody on defense. The Rams beat the Vikings earlier in the season. The Lions beat the Rams. The Vikings the Vikings and Ravens didn't play. I just think the Vikings are a better football team right now. No bias. And the Ravens beat the Bills earlier in the season. But listen, this could go any which way. This is just how I see it personally. And then the Steelers come in at number 8, who I think I'm going to drop down a tier now. Their game against Baltimore, their game against Kansas City, they did not look ready. They did not look good. And this was the stretch of their season, where you saw Baltimore, you saw Kansas City, you see Cincinnati, where we're really going to see what the Steelers team is made of. And so far, it's not been looking good, so I'm going to drop them down a tier. And then coming in at number 9, we have the Green Bay Packers, who just lost a close game against the Minnesota Vikings. What was going to be a blowout actually became a pretty good game. But I think this team, kind of like the Rams, I think they're going to be one of those teams you really don't want to play in the playoffs in the first round or whatever, that are just going to be sneaky, very complete team that can sneak out a win or two in the playoffs. And then coming in at number 10, we have probably one of the most surprising teams this season next to the Vikings, the Washington Commanders, who look really, really good this season. I'm actually going to drop them down. I don't know if they're going to be able to win in the playoffs with such a young team, but it is a very bright sign on how well they're playing this year. It's awesome. Washington has not had this in a long time. I think the last time they made the playoffs was in like 2020, and they went 7-9, which I don't even know how they made the playoffs that year. I think it was because the division was so bad. But yeah, I good for Washington fans, and really, really fun watching Jane Daniels play. Coming in at number 11, we have the LA Chargers, who are kind of in the same boat as the Commanders. They're kind of, in my head, they're both teams that have pretty good records, have beat some solid teams, but are they real contenders? Can they really win in the playoffs? I don't know. I don't really think so. I'm putting them in this tier. And then coming in at number 12, we have a team that might sneak into the playoffs, and that's the Cincinnati Bengals, who have been like 6-0 in their past 6 games, or 5-0, something like that. They have been doing everything they can to make the playoffs. And it's kind of crazy to think. Talking about the Bengals here, and I'm getting an ESPN notification saying somebody's predicting the Ravens and Vikings in the Super Bowl. That would be amazing. Anyways, The Cincinnati Bengals, they could have been such a better team. They could have been competing for the first seed in the AFC if they didn't lose so many close games, because now they're just on a tear. So it's kind of crazy to think what their record would be like if they actually played well, or at least their defense played better earlier in the season. And then coming in at number 13, we have a team that's also trying to make a late season push, and that is the Miami Dolphins, who I'm going to put in the same tier because they're competing with the Bengals to make the playoffs. And I could see one of these two teams getting in. I know I think the Broncos hold the tiebreaker against the Dolphins. I don't really know how it works. I just know these three teams are competing for it. Personally, I would rather see the Bengals in the playoffs. As a Ravens fan, I'd probably rather see the Broncos in the playoffs. But I think from an entertainment level, I think the Bengals in the playoffs would be a lot more fun. Coming in at number 14, we have the Seattle Seahawks, who officially missed the playoffs. And they're having the Seahawks are having the most mid-year I've ever seen in my life, where they're not a good team, but they're not a bad team. They're just there, and they're 9-7. They had a chance to maybe win the division, but they kind of blew it. And I think the Commanders winning officially knocked them out of the playoffs. And then coming in at number 15, we have the Denver Broncos, who might miss the playoffs despite. And listen, if the Denver Broncos miss the playoffs, that is not the worst thing in the world. I don't think they could really do anything in the playoffs. But just the fact that they've played this well this season, I think if you're a Broncos fan, you should be happy. Bo Nix is finally getting you good play at the quarterback position. This offense looked so much better than it did earlier in the season, or than we initially thought, and earlier in the season, honestly. And this defense stepped up this season to become that Denver Broncos defense that we all are used to within the past 10, 15 years. Because before that, I think last year they were one of the worst scoring defenses in the NFL. So I think if you're a Broncos fan, you should be happy no matter what the outcome is, but they might miss the playoffs here. Coming in at number 16, we have the Dallas Cowboys, who, despite Dak going down and despite this team looking a lot worse than we thought, they're still only 7-9, kind of just a mid team. So I think Mike McCarthy might come back next year. I really don't know. You never know with Jerry Jones. But I think Micah Parsons is officially smoking crack after what he said after the Eagles game, basically saying that if you take away those 5 touchdowns, it's a close game. Which, wow, I never looked at it that way, I guess. Coming in at number 17, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. See, this is where these tiers get hard, because the Cowboys beat the Buccaneers fair and square. And now the Buccaneers are in the missed playoffs is in terrible tier. So obviously I think the Bucs are making the playoffs. It's either going to be the Falcons or the Bucs. So the Buccaneers are kind of getting flexed between these two tiers. Like, they obviously belong here, but for the justification of these rankings, I'm going to have to drop them down here. But just imagine that they're in the playoff loss tier, okay? Coming in at number 18, we have the Houston Texans. Same exact situation. They should be here. Let's just imagine it's like that, okay? Look for a second. Picture this in your head. Now I'm dropping them back down. But the Texans, they are not finishing the season strong. My goodness. They looked awful against Baltimore. And you had Beyonce perform for you at halftime, give you basically a Super Bowl level halftime performance, and you lose 31-2. Anyways, coming in at number 19, we have the Atlanta Falcons, who I think should not be in the playoffs. They do not belong in the playoffs. I'd much rather see Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So got a very good week 17 with the Bucs blowing out the Panthers, Falcons losing. Love to see it. Let's see the Buccaneers clinch in week 18, and I will be a happy camper. Coming in at number 20, we have another team that also missed the playoffs, and that is the Arizona Cardinals. What a awful late season collapse. It could only happen to Arizona. My goodness. Really feel for Cole here. You know, a team that was 6-4 is now 7-9, just like that, losing to teams they should not have been losing to. I think the one win that they've had in that stretch was the Patriots. So, yeah, kind of depressing there. Coming in at number 21, we have their divisional opponent who's also having a very disappointing year. They play each other in week 18. That's the San Francisco 49ers, who actually could have beat the Lions if their kicker didn't miss 3 kicks. Hey, welcome to the club. As a Ravens fan, I'm used to that. At least you guys don't have to worry about the playoffs. Anyways, coming in at number 22, we have the Indianapolis Colts. What the fuck is going on in Indianapolis? They have had one of the weirdest seasons I've ever seen the Colts have. I don't know what I watched. I don't know what I witnessed on Sunday. The Colts basically said, fuck the playoffs. I'd rather go to Cabo, Mexico. Because I don't know what that was. How do you give up 45 points to the New York Giants, who lost 41-7 against the Falcons, and then I don't even remember how much the Ravens beat them by? How do you do that? How do you make Drew Lock look like prime Peyton Manning against you? It really makes no sense. Drew Lock literally looked like the most complete quarterback in the NFL this season against the Indianapolis Colts. And it's in a game where the Giants didn't want to win and the Colts didn't want to lose. How do you lose that? I really don't understand. And then coming in at number 23, we have the Carolina Panthers, who have been honestly such a fun team to watch this year. Bryce Young starting to have a late season push, and get some more support. I think a little bit more comfort on the Panthers side with Bryce Young, with how well he's been playing recently and how well the offense has been playing. I mean, they put up 36 points against Arizona, who's had a surprisingly good defense this year so far. So I definitely think it's a good sign for Carolina fans. And then coming in at number 24, we have the New Orleans Saints, who I stand by. Okay, I stand by this statement. With Derek Carr and Alvin Kamara fully healthy, this team is a good football team. Like, this team would be competing for the NFC South championship with the Buccaneers and the Falcons. I think the Saints team is a lot better than their 5-11 record. I just think they've had a very unlucky season, very injury-riddled season. They're going out there with Spencer Rattler, and I don't even know who, Jamal Williams, and whoever else. But when those dudes are healthy, I really think this is a decent to good football team. And then coming in at number 25, a team that has no excuses like the Saints do, the New York Jets. What a awful dumpster fire, atrocious fucking year for the New York Jets. I'm so sorry, Jets fans. I don't think you guys could ever escape this. I at this point, I really do think realistically your franchise is cursed. Coming in at number 26, same state, same cursed franchise. Can't even tank right at this point. Goddamn. The New York Giants come in at number 26. I really don't want to live in New York. I guess they have the Bills, right? That's technically New York. I don't know. I live in Arizona. I don't really know that side of the country. But the Giants, Drew Lock just decided to look like prime fucking Peyton Manning. And I'm sure the whole city of New York hates him, but he could care less. So, number 27, we're going to have another team that just can't tank right either. And that's going to be the Las Vegas Raiders, who have been winning some games recently for whatever reason. And good for them, I guess. Brock Bowers, he's going to be Himothy in the coming years. And then coming in at number 28, we have the Chicago Bears. Same boat as the Jets. Dumpster fire of a year. Overhyped as well. And then coming in at number 29, we have the Cleveland Browns, who would like to just forget this season ever happened, and for good reason. And it's really hard to rank all these bottom feeder teams because some of them just decided to win some random games at the end of the year, and it really makes no sense. Because coming in at number 30, we have a team that won a game neither team was trying to win. That's going to be the Jacksonville Jaguars. The other team in that game, the Tennessee Titans, and then the New England Patriots, who officially dropped to the worst in the NFL, I think for the first time. I had the Giants down there for a while, Raiders were down there as well. But the Patriots take the spot this time. Guys, let me know what you guys think of my list. Like I said, imagine that these two teams are over here because I know it really makes no sense when they're literally going to the playoffs. Most likely going to the playoffs, at least in the Buccaneers case. But let me know what you guys think of the list. Who would you move? Are the Rams way too high? Probably. I don't care. Let me know. You know the drill, though. We're going to take a look at ESPN and NFL and see how our power rankings rack up against theirs. And I have a feeling it's going to be a lot different. The Chiefs coming in number 1, Lions 2, Bills 3, already way different from mine. Vikings at number 4, Eagles at number 5. I don't really understand how the Eagles are 5th. How are the Eagles 5th? Someone please explain that to me. Ravens at 6, Packers 7, Chargers 8. Dang, they really dropped the Steelers. Commanders at 9, Steelers at 10. Rams at 11. So they don't even have the Rams in the top 10, which is just I think at least the top 10. Bengals at 12. And the craziest thing about the Rams, Cooper Kupp hasn't even been playing well recently. Like I said, they've been winning games with their defense. Bengals at 12, Bucks at 13, Texans at 14, Broncos 15, Seahawks 16, Falcons 17, Dolphins 18, Cardinals 19, Falcons 17. I don't really know if I like that. I don't like the Falcons above the Dolphins. I don't really think that belongs. Cardinals at 19, 49ers at 20, Cowboys at 21, Colts 22, Bears 23, Raiders 24, Jags 25, Panthers 26. Panthers are definitely better than the Jacksonville Jaguars. Saints at 27, also better. Jets at 28, I'd also say are better. Browns 29, Patriots 30, Giants 31, and Titans 32. Interesting. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. Coming in with NFL.com, we got the Chiefs at 1, Bills 2. I hope to God that at least the Bills, if it's not the Ravens, at least the Bills get into the playoff or the Super Bowl. I do not want to see the Chiefs again. Lions at 3, Vikings at 4, Eagles at 5. I don't understand how the Philadelphia Eagles are at number 5. I think to me they're the best team in football right now. Ravens at 6, Packers 7, Commanders 8, Chargers 9, Steelers at 10. This one has Steelers at 10 as well. Buccaneers at 11, Rams at 12. Dude, this is the thing. The Rams started the season 1-4, had an insane amount of injuries, and once they're healthy, they started winning games. I don't really get that. The Broncos at 13, Texans at 14. Ooh, they used this little logo guy. Bengals at 15, Seahawks 16. I feel like the Bengals are a little low. I think I had them 12. I had them 12th. So I guess it's not too far off. Seahawks 16, Falcons 17. They also have the Falcons above the Dolphins. Cardinals at 19, 49ers at 20, Cowboys 21, Colts 22, Saints 23, Bears 24, Panthers 25, Jets 26, Raiders 27, Jaguars 28, Giants 29, Browns 30, Patriots 31, Titans 32. Okay, I like that. Honestly, I feel like NFL.com is usually a little more closer to mine, but still, I don't really understand this. How are the Eagles at number 5? Let me know. Am I too high on the Eagles? I think they're the best team in football right now, at least just looking at the regular season. Let me know what you guys think, though. Let me know what you guys think of my list. I'm really, really excited about the end of the season. I'm excited about these playoffs. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. So I hope you guys have a great New Year. I'm recording this on New Year's Eve. This will come out on New Year's Eve. So I hope you guys have a great New Year. Make some good goals. Hopefully this channel will grow and thrive in the new year. That's my goal. So I appreciate all the support. If you guys are new to the channel, please subscribe. If you guys liked the video, make sure to leave a like. And I'll see you guys in the next one. I'll see you guys next year, actually. I get to use that joke in this video only. But I hope you guys have a great New Year. Thank you. Bye.